Hello and welcome to another edition of A. Vogel's Menopause Mondays. Now ladies, do you ever feel that you are in the mental pause? No, I haven't mispronounced it. I do actually mean mental pause. I had a lovely email from a lady a little while ago who'd been to the doctor, and the doctor had told her that she was going through the mental pause. Now I don't know whether that was a mistake or not, but I thought, what a fabulous word. It just explains how we feel emotionally going through the menopause. So my chat today is actually expanding on one of my most read blogs, which is called Are You in the Mental Pause? And I get so many emails from ladies who are worried and concerned about what's happening to their mood, how it's changing, how they can suddenly turn into this completely different person. So I'm going to go through some of the issues that can actually be experienced in the mental pause. First of all, what causes it? Well, it's your falling estrogen again. We know that estrogen is your happy hormone. It keeps your mood up, it keeps your mood level, it keeps you feeling happy and bouncy and energetic. And when your estrogen starts to fall in the menopause, that can affect your mood. And especially if your estrogen starts to go up and down, then you can find that your mood can change very, very suddenly, just, you know, like the snap of fingers. So we'll have a look at some of the issues that can happen in the mental pause. And the first one is anger, irritation, and loss of patience. And it's amazing how many women will say, I'm normally a very quiet person, I very rarely lose my temper, but I'm finding now that I'm getting so angry with people, I'm getting angry about things, I'm getting irritated, people are doing things that before wouldn't have even bothered me, and now they're absolutely irritating me to bits. They're losing patience, both with themselves and with other people and other situations as well. And they sometimes feel that this anger can get totally out of control, which can frighten them, but also the other people that they're actually dealing with. And I've actually had a number of women who have had this total anger at work and have ended up being in very precarious situations. So this is quite a big issue, and it can be very off-putting and very frightening when these bouts of anger actually suddenly appear. We've also got mood swings. You can find that you're absolutely fine one minute, and the next minute you can feel really low. You can start crying. You can be, you know, washing the dishes, reading, watching the TV, and suddenly you're just overwhelmed and you just start to cry. And the thing is, you don't actually know what you're crying about. There's just this total need to let go and cry your heart out. There can also be feelings of despair. You can just feel so utterly low, so utterly helpless. And again, when you think about it, you've absolutely no idea why. There's also loss of motivation. You can suddenly find that all the things that you enjoy, you just think, oh, I can't be bothered. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to socialize. I just want to go and hibernate for the rest of the menopause. And this can be quite an issue, especially if you have a really busy job where you've got lots of tasks to do and you've got to be on the ball. And even dealing with family members and family issues, it can be really hard if you just feel that you can't be bothered with anything or with anybody as well. It can also be just about life itself. You can be feeling, what am I doing here? What's my purpose in life? What have I done with my life? Or what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because things are changing. You may well have your children leaving home, so you've got the empty nest syndrome, and suddenly you're faced with someone the other side of the table and you don't really know who they are anymore. And dealing with relationships is a big issue with this particular problem as well. And I get a lot of women who are saying to me, I still love my partner, but I don't like them anymore. They're irritating me. I can't be bothered to talk to them, I don't want to be in their company. What am I going to do? This can also affect your relationships with your children. A large number of women today going through the menopause will still have children at home, and they suddenly find that they're snapping at their children, and they feel themselves that they're being really horrible and they can't actually control it. And when that happens, the guilt then sets in, which of course makes everything worse as well. There can also be your relationships with your friends. You might suddenly think, oh, I can't be bothered to go out with them anymore. I don't enjoy their company, and I'm feeling miserable, and they're sitting there as happy as Larry. So that there can be a feeling of isolation as well. For some women as well, there's also the kind of bigger picture about a spiritual side of the menopause. Where do I fit into the whole scheme of things? And women can start asking a lot of questions about that. You've also got the issues with work as well. Why am I doing this? I hate this job. I don't want to be here anymore. And I have actually had a number of women who have literally gone into work one day and just handed in their notice and walked out. They haven't planned it, but it's something that just happened at that particular point. So what can you do to actually help you through this particular part of the mental pause? The really important thing is to tell people how you are feeling. And I know it's not always an easy thing to do, but if your friends and loved ones and family are suddenly seeing the normal you disappear, and this horror of a person suddenly appearing and shouting at them and being really impatient and irrational, they are going to start getting worried. So explain to them what's happening. It's almost a bit like becoming a recycled teenager, because you can feel the same emotional ups and downs as when you did when you were 14 or 15. And if you've got teenagers at home going through the same thing, it can be a real big battleground. So tell them what's happening, tell your partners what's going on and why you're feeling in this particular way, and then they will be more likely to understand you and to help and support you, rather than ending up getting into arguments and the like as well. It is important if you can tell somebody at work, and I know it's not easy, especially if you find that your moods are affecting your work in some way. Even if you can only confide in one particular person, then it will make it a lot easier to actually bear. What other things can you do? Well, you can look at taking some form of phytoestrogen, such as a fermented soya. That can help to keep your mood up. It can help to raise your estrogen. It can keep your mood level. It's also got magnesium in it as well. And for those of you that have been watching before, you know how important magnesium is for everything. And with all these emotional ups and downs that are going on, your nervous system is going to get really, really stressed, and that can actually make other menopause symptoms worse as well. So take the B-Vits as well, and remember the daily rest and relaxation. That's very important for helping to calm the mood as well. Now, there is good news. This mental pause, if you like, it's usually only a phase in the menopause. Very few women will experience this throughout the whole of the menopause, and it can last a few months or maybe 6 months or even a year, but there is an end to it. And the interesting thing is that coming out the other end, you may feel completely different. We know that in the menopause your estrogen and progesterone fall, but as women, we all have a little bit of testosterone in it, which is the kind of male hormone, and very often this gets left behind. So you end up with a higher level of testosterone than before compared to your other hormones, and that little bit of extra testosterone can give you drive, it can give you ambition, and it can give you focus. And it's really interesting that a large number of businesses that are being set up in the UK today are actually being done by menopause and postmenopausal women. So there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. Now, this week's task is something might be a little bit difficult for you to do. We know the menopause is still shrouded in mystery. We don't like to talk about it with other people, but this week I would like you to trust one person and tell one person that you're going through the menopause and that you're proud of it. And just tell me how you get on with that. Tell me how you feel about actually explaining what's going on. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will look forward to another edition of A. Vogels Menopause Mondays next week, where I will have a question and answer session.